Good morning, children. Hope you are doing all well. Stay home, stay safe. Now, this is a motto, so follow it for your health and for your family. Now, I welcome you all to economics class of class 11. We begin the session with microeconomics. Now, you have learned economics up to 10th standard, isn't it? We have learned basic things like development, then sectors, etc. etc. So, in plus 1, we will be learning more in detail about economics. So, the first chapter, microeconomics introduction. In this session, we will be discussing about what is microeconomics and macroeconomics. The two branches of economics, they are divided. Micro. What is micro? Micro means small. Now, for example, for you have to take a blood test. Doctor has prescribed taking a blood test. In the blood test, hemoglobin count alone we are seeing. If we are seeing the blood test like WBC count, hemoglobin count, other things that the doctor has prescribed, then it is a macro concept. Here we are checking all the components of the blood. Particularly if we are checking, it is micro. That means for part of it only we are concentrating. Similarly, in economics, microeconomics, also when we are studying the behavior of individual economic agents in the market, how they react, how they influence the market prices through their demand and supply, this we call it as microeconomics. So, in microeconomics, we study the individual behavior of economic agents. Who are the economic agents? It can be the consumer, myself, you, the market, the firm, etc. etc. So, in micro, we learn only the individual economic units. We don't concentrate on all of them. Whereas in macro, we study as a whole. We study the behavior of an economy as a whole. You can take another example. In a forest, if we are learning a particular plant, then it is micro. Whole of the forest, when we are studying or going through it, then it is a macro concept. Hope you have understood micro and macro, the definition. Okay, now in micro, the things important are they deal with partial equilibrium, like equilibrium of the consumer, okay, where the consumer gets maximum satisfaction. Then the producer, how much he has to produce to get his profit maximum, etc. Whereas in macro, we study the equilibrium of the economy as a whole, like national income, inflation, unemployment, etc. So, hope you have understood about micro and macro. In this plus 1, you have to concentrate on the definition of micro and macro economics. Next, we shall take up the topic positive economics and normative economics. You want to know about that? Positive economics and normative economics? Okay, let us see what is positive economics and normative economics. Okay, now I'll give you a situation, and from that situation we'll come to the definition of positive and normative economics. Okay, now in a school, a teacher, he is giving the report card to the parents. The principal also goes through the report card of each class and they analyze with the panel of teachers. They found that the students have gone back from the previous examination. Teachers were called and principal asked why the performance of the children have gone back. So the teachers, they gave their suggestions. Okay, they gave their suggestions. Now here the report card is a fact which gives the development of the child in his academics. It is a fact. He has got this mark or she has got so much of marks. But when the teachers are giving their suggestions, yes, this student or these class have gone back because of these reasons. So the teacher have to take the following steps. It is a suggestion from each individual teachers, isn't it? Now we come back to the topic. Here in positive economics, it tells what is. Actually what is? It is giving as it is, we are accepting it. The student's mark is an fact and that is positive. Okay, according to the marks, the teachers, they are giving their suggestions for improvement. That is the opinion of the individual teachers, which is a normative. They give the suggestions like additional classes, simple questions, so that they come up. So the teachers are giving their opinion. So the opinions of the individuals, here it is being given for a problem here. That we call it as normative. So in normative, they give the what ought to be. It discusses about what ought to be. It should be like this. They are giving the suggestions. Whereas in positive, they accept what is, how the economy is, they accept it. India has largest population. So that is positive. So it is a fact. We can verify the fact through the data. So positive economics deals with facts, whereas normative, they are suggestive and they cannot be verified opinions of individuals. They are debated and it can be accepted or it may not be accepted. I will tell you the latest one, new education policy of 2020. So here also the economists and the stakeholders, they have discussed the problems that was facing our country and they have come to the conclusion that policy is important. So here the positive economics and normative analysis, positive analysis and normative analysis is being considered for finding a solution to a problem. So they are not two watertight compartments, they are related to each other. So let us now recall the main points of positive and normative economics. Positive, it deals with what is, it is objective in nature, it can be tested and verified with facts, whereas normative, it is idealistic, suggestive and opinions of the individuals, it cannot be verified. So these two are very important for finding a solution. So they are related. Hope you have understood about the microeconomics and macroeconomics, positive and normative economics. Thank you. In the next session, we shall see what is economy and the central problems of the economy.